Evolution. It's happened to every single one of us, and in the tech world, this is even more important. I've used iPhones for some time now, and after using the iPhone 12 and having access to the iPhone 17 Pro, I realised something. Older phones are still pretty good, and the question I'm going to ask in this video and answer for you guys is, are new iPhones really worth it? Let's find out. So first up, let's address the elephant in the room. The iPhone 17 Pro is one of the best phones on the planet, boasting 3 48-megapixel cameras with a large aperture of f1.4, I believe. We cannot get better than the iPhone 17 Pro for an iPhone in 2025. And whilst the iPhone 18s are coming out with some rumours of new things such as better cameras and a bigger battery, probably maintaining the same vapor chamber design, we can still see that the iPhone 17 Pro is one of the best phones spec-wise you can get in 2026. What I've realised after using the iPhone 17 Pro for a little while, as I'm trying to review it, is that specs is only half the story, and with a new phone comes quirks and things that don't work really well. Whereas if you go for an old phone, you have a phone that's reliable for the foreseeable future, and that just works. Whilst it's not going to be the best quality in terms of battery life, performance and screen, all of which we'll get into in this video, I think it's fair to say that the old phones still pack a punch. Let's something straight. Most people don't need new phones. It is something that I think about a lot, and as I was thinking of upgrading to the iPhone 15, I realised, what if I just replace the internal components of my iPhone 12? Wouldn't that give me an extra 2-3 years? Yes. Will it lose me things like Apple Intelligence with the iPhone 15 Pro? Yes, it will. Is it a good deal to save a lot of money? Yes. So when looking at the budget side, especially a student, and I'm going to come onto this later on in the video, but you don't need a new phone. Look at I've used an iPhone 12 in 2026. It works pretty well. And I think I'd rather be the guy or the person that say with an older phone in their pocket knowing how to use it, and I'm going to come to this analogy later on in this video, than the guy with the new phone or the person with the new phone showing off about it and telling all their friends they got the iPhone 17 or 16, 15 Pro, I think you get the gist. The only thing holding people back, I think, when getting a new phone is new internals. This is a big point because new internals make a massive difference when using the phone on a daily basis, but for the most part, I don't think that the iPhone 12 is still not capable in 2026. In fact, I think it's very capable. The A14 annihilates the Pixel 10a and Pixel 9a in single-core and multi-core scores, even though the Pixel 9a and 10 do come close to multi-core, and we see a massive difference in terms of that. So we can see that even with an iPhone 12 from 2020, it's still ahead of a lot of mid-range flagships from Android from the other side, let's say, compared to the other Androids at similar price, or at similar price as it is now. It's definitely at a good stage, and definitely you don't need a new phone, as I've seen. The iPhone 17 Pro is just amazing. One thing you definitely don't miss out on when getting an iPhone though is a premium feeling. iPhones almost always use premium material. To be honest, iPhones just feel a lot more premium than Androids do. It's been like that for some time, and I think it's going to carry on like that. And with the rise of Apple Intelligence and things like that, and Apple having Apple Intelligence already compared to Gemini Intelligence, where it's coming soon, and we know how it goes with Google saying coming soon. We've been there. I've had a Pixel before. All the features have been to be confirmed, and it's not really ideal when getting a new phone. You want features that are actually on the phone. To be fair, this is a big win to the iPhone here in this category, because really iPhones don't deliver on things that are supposedly said. They do it regardless of whether they're said or not. They just deliver. Androids don't, and this is something that I've noticed when using phones, that the iPhones just do better. The next thing we need to consider is the design of each phone. So we've gone from using a notch to the dynamic island on the iPhone 17 Pro compared to the iPhone 12, and we can see a massive difference in day-to-day usage when using these phones like this. But there's some couple design differences which I think I prefer on the iPhone 12. Personally, I think the iPhone 12's the industrial design is more easy to use, and the iPhone 17 Pro can feel, whilst nice around the edges when you're holding it because it's curved, it feels overall a lot more cumbersome to use than the iPhone 12 does. The iPhone 12 kind of sits in your hand, whilst the iPhone 17 Pro is more modular, which is a good thing, but it depends on you. Whilst we're here, let's actually quickly diverge from that point and dive into the specs of my iPhone 12. We have a 4GB Apple A14 Bionic chip with the iPhone 12 with two 12-megapixel cameras and a wide and ultra-wide focal length. Now, whilst these might not sound great on paper, in practice, viewing this as point and shoot photography, you're going to get some amazing results, as I've seen when using the iPhone 12. You can get some passable results for sure, and you can even use it for some light professional lighting work, as I've used this for my professional Instagram accounts and stuff and things like that. And on a daily basis, it will be fine. Now, I'm going to show you guys two photos on the screen. Which one was taken? One of them is edited to look like the iPhone 17 Pro, and one of them was taken in the iPhone 17. Which one do you think is which, first of all? And on this altar, I offer my language, so all words are all burned, sorta like an autumn. See my loose leaf changing and my too deep say it and we'll all learn. I said language. Well, the point is, there's not a massive difference. You can tell that the iPhone 12 photo is less sharp and there's less clarity, and it's more washed out, but with some quick editing features in Lightroom and literally you can use any Photopea, anything getting it free, for example, you can get a really good result, and you don't need to spend extra money to get an iPhone 17, especially when the cameras on the iPhone 12 aren't that bad. So now let's compare the specs from the iPhone 12 to the iPhone 17 Pro. The iPhone 17 Pro boasts 348 megapixel cameras on the back of the phone with a much better front-facing camera with new features in the iPhone 17 Pro, such as center stage and the fact that you can use your iPhone to film vertically and horizontally and still get a vertical shot. That's pretty cool. That's all nifty features, right? I'm gonna, like, if I had an iPhone 17 Pro that I could use on a daily basis, I would enjoy using these features. I'm gonna admit that some of the new phone's features are better. But what the point is I'm trying to make is that most people get a new phone aren't heavily invested in the tech space or aren't tech YouTubers like I am. So if you're actually a tech YouTuber and you actually need the specs, of course, I'm hands up on this one. You need that new phone. But if you're not a tech YouTuber and you just want a phone that works, look at an iPhone 14 and up. And I always recommend to people who are asking me if Lewis, what phone should I get an iPhone 14 and up. It will provide you with enough battery storage if you get 128 gigabytes and enough longevity overall to do well in the future. And the iPhone 17 Pro is by no means a bad phone. It's just overkill for a lot of people, and you don't need all the specs unless you actually know how to use it. To be honest with you, I hate people who complain about having their phones when they don't know how to use it properly. I'd much rather have an interaction with someone in the tech space who knows how to use their phones properly, like Marquez or the top YouTubers who talk about phones, and they say it from a place of a YouTuber, and YouTubers need professional kit. For the most people, you don't need an iPhone 17 Pro in their pocket. You can use an iPhone 14, 13, 12, or even 15 to shoot a short film like I have done on multiple occasions in my film school. And that's a good use example of where the iPhone 12 has been extremely useful. So based on specs alone, let's answer the question. What's the best iPhone you should buy in 2026? Well, look at the middle chart. The iPhone 15. Well, whilst the iPhone 18 hasn't released yet, 15 is still the middle child. The iPhone 17 is an overcool phone, and you don't need an iPhone 17. And even if you want better cameras and the 120 Hz display, that's all going to come at the cost of battery life. And in general, the middle child, or the best option that I think for you, of course I might be wrong, but in my opinion, and talking from someone's perspective as a tech reviewer and someone who knows what they're talking about to a certain extent. Of course, I've only got 800 subscribers compared to Marquez or anything. I'm nowhere close, let's be honest. I like light years away. But what I'm trying to say is, for most people, I think the iPhone 15 is the best middle ground. Let me tell you why. 248 megapixel cameras on the back using the exact same focal lengths found on the 17 and 17 Pro, I believe, means that you'll get the exact same or similar photos from each phone. From the iPhone 15 and 17, there's not too many big differences. They both have a large battery. For 17 is obviously larger. We do have similarities such as being able to punch into the 2x camera in the phone, which is really good. This is great for good phone shoot photography, and if you're a professional photographer, as of someone who's using the iPhone 17 Pro, using the 15 is not going to feel too different. You're going to get similar photos because it's got the same type of megapixel count, not the same sensor. That's different. And of course, if you're using, for example, let me give an analogy. If you're using a ZV-1 to film a video like this, compare it to an APS-C sensor with a bigger sensor like an A60-100 or an A60-400, even an A7 IV, you can see that there's a lot of differences when filming because of a bigger sensor, and that same analogy applies to these iPhones. The iPhone 15 just won't be on the same level as the iPhone 17 Pro when it comes to some photography, or even the iPhone 17. But in my opinion, at around £400 used or even £600 new, it is the best middle ground with a dynamic island, a 60 Hz display, not great but still pretty good. And the battery, meaning that you can get twice the amount of cycle counts needed before the battery degrades, meaning that the battery is a lot better overall compared to an iPhone 14 and below. And overall, this is the best old iPhone to get in 2026 by no stretch of my imagination. It is the best choice. I was going to get it, but fate meant that wasn't meant to be, and I'm really happy with the decision I made anyway. But really, the iPhone 15 is one of the best options you can get in 2026. Let's talk for a minute. I'm going to be very honest with the camera now. I think what's really annoying, as I've said, is people who think they know a lot about tech when they can't even name, I don't know, what chip is inside the phone, even something more simply, what kind of camera they have in the back, whether it's a wide, ultra wide, or like a telephone's camera. And that's really annoys me. So that's why I'm going to talk about how you can optimize your old phone so you can know what's going on and you can optimize it to the best way possible. It comes down to how you use a phone. With a new battery in an iPhone 12, you can get around 6 hours at best of screen on time, which is still pretty good in 2026. Not as good as like the 9 or 10 hours on the iPhone 16e and 17 Pros, but it's still adequate for most people. And after replacing my screen and battery, after having an ailing, broken iPhone 12, I think I've made some massive improvements, and I'm really happy with the improvements I've made. And you can still get really good results from an iPhone 12, which is something I'm really happy with. But here's a twist. 7. difference I have noticed, and to be fair to new phones, props to the iPhone 17 and 16 and up. Like using the 17 as a baseline, you can get roughly around, you can get through a full day using the iPhone 15 probably and have about 30% left. Whereas with the 17, with my real world experience, you can get around 60 to 70% still, maybe 40-30% still remaining, which is an improvement. My point is, there's not a massive improvement. With the iPhone 12, you can get around 20% left after using a heavy day, and it's only 20%. So, quickly like that, there's not much of a massive difference between the iPhone 12 and the iPhone 17, except from the obvious. But let's talk about why you need to know the tech you're using and why it's important. So, as a student, no, you don't need the latest phone. But as a tech YouTuber or someone who's is active in the film industry, you might want to consider getting the iPhone 17 Pro, as I recommended, the iPhone 15 and up, as it's got so many cool features to help you get through a day and has the battery life to do so. But for the most people, even for some professionals, a 14 Pro, 15 Pro, 16 Pro, even a 13 Pro would be enough to have 3 separate cameras for telephoto wide and ultra wide, for example, or even just to have better battery life with 13 Pro or Pro phones. So one thing I'd consider looking at is the Pro phones. That was my video based on whether I think new iPhones are really worth it. If I'm being honest, they're not, and you can get away with not having an old phone. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to like, subscribe, stay tuned for more videos. I'll see you guys very soon in the next video. Peace out.